This is the best moments of the BBQ Central Show in 10 minutes or less. Ever wish you could re-listen to your favorite interview or segment? Do you enjoy hearing older shows for the first time in years? Then the best moments of the BBQ Central Show in 10 minutes or less is just what you need. Thanks for listening and enjoy the show.
Yes, thanks for listening. John Solberg here, your host for the best moments of the BBQ Central Show in 10 minutes or less. Happy to tell you that today's episode is being brought to you by The Butcher Shop, purveyors of highly sought after 100% Australian non-crossbred Wyvara 9 Plus briskets that are always, and I do mean always, handpicked just for you. The Butcher Shop has been retailing the finest meats for more than 15 years, and every week they're shipping out competition quality meats to many of the biggest teams in the competition scene across the nation. Simply put, teams who use the Butcher Shop win, and they win often. You may not be a competitor, but you absolutely deserve the finer cuts. The Butcher Shop is shipping some of the finest prime, dry-aged Australian Wagyu and Japanese Wagyu steaks to people just like you and me who aspire to be the kings and queens of the backyard. The Butcher Shop always has Berkshire, Compart Duroc, Allegiance Duroc, and Prairie Fresh all-natural pork in stock. And again, it's always handpicked just for you. Now, you might be saying, "Oh, this sounds great, but I'd like to try something different." Well, get a hold of the Butcher Shop. Maybe they can get you some elk. Maybe they can get you some camel. Maybe they can get you some gator. Maybe they can get you some snake. I don't know. Reach out to them and find out what they have and get something different. So let's review. The best competition briskets? Check. The best pork selection? Check. Giving you better overall options to cook at home? Check. So give the Butcher Shop a call today, 850-458-8782. That's 850-458-8782. You mentioned the BBQ Central Show. You're getting 10% off your entire order each and every time you call. You can also go check them out on Facebook, facebook.com/The Butcher Shop. Shop is spelled S-H-O-P-P-E. The Butcher Shop, home of the 100% Australian non-crossbred Wyvara 9 Plus briskets. And today we're stepping back to 2010, where Greg catches up with Myron Mixon.
All right, as promised, joining me now to talk a little barbecue, Pitmasters television show and barbecue in general, friend of the show, Pitmaster of Jack's Old South, Myron Mixon. Myron, how are you doing tonight, buddy?
Good to hear from you, big man.
Well, I guess... we've reached new heights of status with you have paparazzi following you now, Myron. What about that?
Yeah, that was kind of interesting having the TMZ guys following us around last night when we went out and had dinner with Buddy from Cake Boss.
When was the last time that you got out of a car and then you had some schmuck off the street come on with a light and a camera and stick it in your face?
Probably when I got my divorce from my first wife, when she hired a private detective to follow me around. I figured that's probably the last time.
Yeah, that's about right. So just some of the quick accolades that you attended over last year: 2009 Team of the Year, Memphis Barbecue Network, 22nd overall finish in the Florida Barbecue Association, 35th overall in the KCBS, mind you, a 4th overall in the brisket category. So, within those three sanctioning bodies, continuing to do very well. And as we talked last time, you were on your way out to the Jack Daniels for the 12th time, just shy of that elusive grand championship with your reserve on that finish. Disappointment when it came down to that at the Jack?
Well, that's the best finish I've ever had. So you've got a little bit of disappointment then, but I was also proud. I was, again, best finish I've ever had. I've finished third 2 or 3 times, and it is elusive. It's a hard thing to conquer and figure out that game up there at the Jack. Nobody there's a slouch. Everybody has the cream of the crop. The only place you wind up with a little unevenness is when you get in the blind area. You got so many what they call the celebrity judges, people that write for food magazines and things like that. And it's not more unfair for one than the other. It's just if you're unlucky that day to wind up on a table with a lot of those type people, and not have some of your good certified judges. So it worked out. The stars were in alignment, and it worked out good for me that weekend. Next year,
13th year is the charm, right? Isn't that what they always say?
I hope so. It will be my 13th year in a row if I wind up there again, qualifying for the Jack Daniels and actually making it. I hope I'll be able to pull it off and not have to air qualify. If I can just win the World Championship in Memphis this year, that's an automatic, so that'll get me done.
There you go. We're talking with Myron Mixon, Pitmaster of Jack's Old South. Looking back over last year in 2009, is there one particular event or moment that sticks out to you that you'll always remember?
The Jack Daniels to me was probably the most defining moment for me for the 09 season. You know, again, taking reserve grand there, that was, to me, my biggest achievement. We did a lot of things last year that were, I call milestones for Jack's Old South. We wound up winning our 11th contest at the Barbecue Battle in Washington, D.C., out of 13 years competing there. And that's a big accomplishment. We won our 8th Team of the Year for Memphis in May, or in the NBN network. And that is a milestone for us. But to me, the reserve grant, the Jack, again, by the talent you're competing against, and just the sheer luck of winding up on the right tables, I put that right there at the top thing for us in 09.
There you go. We're talking with Myron Mixon, pitmaster of Jack's Old South. So let's go ahead and talk about the show, Myron. Obviously, it's been doing very well in the ratings. A lot of buzz about it on the internet forums and probably just on the street as well. So kind of give us a little background. I mean, how were you approached about the show, and were you pretty much in it from Jump Street, or did you have to think about it before you decided to get in on it?
Well, I was pretty much involved in it from the start. Not my idea, though. It was John Marcus.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, when he pitched it to you, were you like, well, let me think about it, or were you like, oh, yeah, I'm in right away?
Well, you know, I always go on John's instincts. He has a big career and a big reputation in the TV biz. I mean, he was the executive producer for The Cosby Show for 6 years.
Right.
And when he tells you something, you pretty much got to go with his instinct on it. You know, and he's the guy to come up with the reality concept of barbecue at these competitions. And when John told me, you know, what it was all about and everything, I was in from the start.
So you're seeing these new episodes, at least from what I've been told, you're seeing the new episodes just like we are every Thursday. From how it was shot, you know, when you had the cameras around you to what you're seeing finished, is it pretty much staying true to how it went down there?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty true to everything. Yeah, a lot of it got left on the cutting room floor. Some of it I thought should have stayed in, not necessarily parts that revolved around me. There was some funny things and happened to a lot of us on the show that, but then again, you ain't got but an hour. And really, you don't have an hour. I think it's something like 46 minutes or something like that to get it all in there. So a lot of good things, I think, got wasted.
We're talking with Myron Mixon from Jack's Old South. He is the pitmaster also on the TLC Barbecue Pitmasters show, which airs every Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, Myron, I mean, I don't think it goes without saying that you're probably the most, or you're the character that's probably generating the most buzz out of all the cast members out there currently that it's being featured on the show. You have a faction that obviously loves you regardless. You have a faction that really seems to have a strong dislike for you because of how you're coming off on the show with the, you know, the swearing and the arrogant attitude and all that stuff. Now, look, I mean, I've interviewed you. This will be my third time. I don't think I've ever heard you even almost swear, and you've never been confident, of course, because the body of work speaks for itself. But I've never necessarily seen you or talked to you, whether it be on the phone or in this show format, where you've come off how you are on the show. Is this something where you thought, you know what, in order to kind of push myself out there and to get most exposure, did you kind of work up a heel role on the show and try to maximize it that way?
Find out what Myron had to say. Head on over to the BBQCentralShow.com. There is a link in today's show notes. It's going to take you to this complete episode. While you're over there, cruise around, listen to some other shows. You want your own special, customized Best Moment show? Find an episode, send it to me. I'll chop it up for you. I'll tell you that it was yours. It'll be kind of like monogram Best Moments. Is that right? I don't know. Anyway, I want to say thanks so much for listening. And until next time on the Best Moments of the Barbecue Central Show in 10 minutes or less, I'm your host, John Solberg. I look forward to talking to you again soon.